Nicki Minaj visibly unraveling as Barb's quietly began pulling back after that Trump appearance was not on my 2025 bingo card. Not even close. It honestly feels like we might be watching the first real fractures in her legacy start to show. And let's be clear, this isn't a rumor, a chopped-up clip, or another case of Nicki being taken the wrong way. This was Nicki stepping onto a Turning Point USA stage, smiling comfortably, openly applauding Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, and telling a conservative audience that they made her feel proud to be American. And in that moment, the Barbs didn't cheer. They stalled. Because what people saw was Nicki placing herself inside a political space that many of her own supporters view as openly antagonistic toward Black people.
I don't know if he even knows this, but he's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys.
Immigrants and marginalized groups. And she wasn't just present, she was applauding. You could literally watch the energy online change in real time. Now, Nicki orbiting conservative circles didn't exactly come out of thin air. But it was the boldness, the timing, and how casually she said it, like this was all completely normal, that pushed people past their limit. The same fans who defended her through every beef, scandal, chaotic tweet, and questionable collaboration suddenly went silent. And not slowly, immediately. That's when people started speaking up. The reaction was basically universal. Wow, you really did that. And Bishop Talbert Swan didn't sugarcoat a thing. He flat out called it hypocritical. And honestly, a lot of fans agreed.
Be boys, it's okay. Be boys. It's nothing wrong with being a boy. How about that?
Amen.
How powerful is that? How profound?
Because this is the part people can't ignore. Nicki was born in Trinidad and Tobago. And she's spoken before about being undocumented as a child. She can't even vote in U.S. elections. So watching her praise politicians, whose policies have directly harmed Black communities, immigrants, and working-class families hit different. It landed heavier. Swan essentially voiced what many were already thinking but hadn't put into words yet. Nicki's wealth, fame, and global status shield her in ways regular people will never experience. ICE isn't coming for her. ICE isn't breaking up her family. ICE isn't treating her like she's disposable. So when she praises leaders accused of rolling back civil rights, erasing Black history, and pushing mass deportations under the banner of patriotism, it doesn't come off courageous.
And Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old Black girls. I don't think that songs that are talking about like glorifying wet female genitalia is exactly, I don't know which one wrote that song. Which one was it?
I think it was Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Was roughly familiar with Nicki Minaj. Not exactly someone who I would consider is living a moral life, just kind of looking at some pictures of her.
It comes off disconnected. Things got even messier when an old clip resurfaced of Charlie Kirk criticizing Nicki outright. In it, he labels her a bad influence on Black girls and accuses artists like her of trapping Black culture. And people online immediately clocked the irony. Like, wait, this is the environment you felt safe standing in. Because the same movement applauding her now is the same one that once dismissed her, minimized her impact, and exploited Black culture when it suited them. All while fighting policies meant to protect Black people. Then Raheem Shabazz entered the conversation. He pointed out that Nicki is Trinidadian, not a Black American, and said that distinction matters, not as an insult, not as shade, but for context. His argument was that this moment didn't exist in isolation.
Okay. Ooh, that's like the most... Okay. Ooh, wow.
He suggested there's been a pattern where Nicki seems dismissive of Black American struggles, and showing up alongside Charlie Kirk's widow at what he described as a barely disguised MAGA rally wasn't neutral at all. That wasn't just attendance. That was alignment.
So Nicki Minaj is being reported right now that Nicki Minaj allegedly is in risk of losing her $20 million home in LA after not.
And when Black Americans are already facing cultural and political pressure, silence is one thing. Cozying up to the same people pushing that harm is another. That's when neutral stopped being part of the conversation. That's why the word collaboration started circulating.
My mother say, Rose, man, you playing to win tonight, man. You sharp as a mosquito's needle. What's going on? That's that crypto, see? They got a real crip up in the crypto ball. Bang, bang.
And once it did, it moved fast. This is also when political strategist Mike Nellis stepped in and said what many had already been whispering. The timing raised eyebrows. Nicki is reportedly facing the potential loss of a $20 million mansion. Her husband needs a pardon. And suddenly, she's found her conservative voice. People notice the pattern instantly. Celebrities turning anti-woke right when they need protection, sympathy, leverage, or a new audience to fall back on.
And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president. And when I say that,
That's when the barbs really started splitting. Not all of them, but enough comments flooded in. One said Nicki might be trying to secure herself against being deported back to Trinidad and Tobago since she doesn't have U.S. citizenship. Another went even harder, listing names like Snoop, Amber Rose, Lil Wayne, Nelly, Rick Ross, and Nicki, asking if people were finally seeing the pattern. The point was clear when artists poison the community with harmful messaging.
Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine.
It's because they don't actually care about that community at that point. This stopped being just about Nicki. It became about a larger pattern. Black and adjacent celebrities being welcomed into conservative spaces only when they can serve as cover. And people were confused. Because this version of Nicki didn't match the one fans thought they knew. But if praising Trump wasn't already enough to spark chaos, Nicki somehow escalated it. While seated at Turning Point, she referred to J.D. Vance as an assassin. And the room went dead silent. Some tried brushing it off as a simple slip of the tongue. But we all know how the internet works. That word carried weight, especially with existing online speculation unproven. Speculation about J.D. Vance's proximity to power circles connected to Charlie Kirk and his death. Again, speculation. Nothing confirmed. But then people brought up that hug. The turning point moment where J.D. Vance and Erica, Kirk, shared an interaction that had viewers replaying it over and over. The way she touched his hair, how long it lingered, it didn't feel platonic to a lot of people. It suddenly made sense why. Erica was the only one who stepped in when things got uncomfortable. And now, the question online isn't even whether Nicki messed up. It's how many times can she keep doing this before it finally sticks? Because fan loyalty is resilient. It can survive controversy. It can survive beefs. It can even survive moments that should have ended careers. But when fans feel politically abandoned, yeah, that kind of fallout rarely ends nicely.